Okay, welcome back to my opinion. This video is going to be about the Sig P320 again. Um, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of theories of why this firearm is doing what it's doing and so unsafe, etc. One thing is the trigger's too light and inertia can set it off. Uh, the fire control unit in the gun is flawed. Um, it's too loose tolerances in the slide and the frame. Um, there's lots of theories, and the testing that you see where they stuck the screw in the trigger and brought the trigger back just past the wall and then wiggled the slide and it goes off. Well, just about any gun's going to, any striker fired pistol is going to do that. And I think there was one test actually where a guy did like 10 or 12 pistols, including a couple of Glocks, 2 or 3 Glocks, and they did that. They went off. The striker hit the primer. Those are flawed tests. Those aren't going to. I think it was Wyoming Gun Project or something like that did that test, and now lots of people are doing it, thinking that's the aha. That's not the aha. It's a striker fired gun. If you bring the trigger back to the wall and then go past the wall, it's doing what it's designed to do. That the trigger's going to go off. Hopefully, that's not the problem. I don't know what the problem is with the Sig P320. I just think it's a very bad design. I kind of think I have a Sig P250, and it's very, very similar to the Sig P320, except that it's double action only. It came out years ago, and it never really was popular. I almost bought one when they first came out, but it was ugly in the back, and I didn't like it. But a lot of people didn't like it because it was double action only. It's a smooth trigger, but it's a long trigger pull, every trigger pull. Unlike a striker fired gun, like a Glock, you can shoot one round and take it to the wall and shoot the other round consecutively almost. Um, with a double action only, you go all the way, you pull the trigger all the way back and all the way back out. There is no wall. Um, but so they never took off the Sig P250. People just did not want anything to do with that gun. Uh, and so I think someone at Sig said, well, Glock is doing wonderful, and we're introducing a double action only gun in the midst of the striker fired phenomenon. People were wanting striker fired guns. They just were enamored with striker fired pistols. Um, and I think that's what happened. I think that Sig took that firearm, the Sig P250, and instead of just redoing another gun and creating a brand new, all new uh, pistol that was from the bottom up, they took the 250, gutted it, and stuffed the guts of a striker fired pistol as best they could, changed stuff, of course, took those guts and made the P320. Um, that's what I think. I could be totally wrong on that. I don't have any proof of that. I don't have any evidence of that. But it, the design of the 250 is, or I'm sorry, 320 is definitely flawed. There's too much going on. You know, a lot of people talk, well, it's of course it's dangerous. Like I think the Yankee Marshal talks about that. It's the gun that the people wanted, and he's right. It is. People wanted that perfect trigger. They were putting aftermarket triggers in Glocks as light as they were, and I think Sig answered the call. They introduced a good firearm, a double action only though, and the people sneered their nose at it, and it wasn't what the people wanted. So Sig said, "Okay, fine, we'll just gut this thing and give you this light trigger, super duper trigger," and they gave it to him. But I think in doing so hastily and in doing so without just completely building a new gun, I think they created a Frankenstein that just had too many flaws and too many things that could go wrong with that pistol. It's going off in holsters. You know, the Yankee Marshal, for example, talking about how the gun is doing what it's supposed to do. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's going off in holsters. We don't hear about this with Glocks. There's way more Glocks out there than there are SIGs, even to this day. Even with all the contracts that SIG has, there's still more Glocks out there, and you just don't hear that number of Glocks doing this. So I think that Sig has really messed up this gun from day one by trying to give the people what they wanted, and I think it's a bad design. I think that's the problem. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe and be safe.